Hey, good morning, good afternoon. Maybe it's good evening, depending on where you're catching this or when you're catching this. This is Michelle. I'm with Treecat, and welcome to my live stream. Thanks for joining today. I hope everybody's doing well. And it's still pretty nice, but the leaves are changing. The kids are back in school, and it's time to get serious about your reselling, right? I know I need to get serious. I was actually thinking about I feel like I need to have a little bit of accountability. So I'm thinking about maybe on Instagram, maybe doing an accountability. I've never done anything like this, but my Instagram, you can check it out, treecat.io, like at treecat.io on Instagram. Like and subscribe, please. And I'm thinking about, just for myself, if anybody wants to join me, cool, but just for myself, I'd like to be listing 10 items a day, cross-listing those 10 items onto Mercari and Poshmark, delist, relisting 20 items a day. And then, of course, as soon as we have our Poshmark sharing my closet all day, just so that I can get things going for Q4, the 7th. And I'm going to just post, just to keep myself accountable. And I'm going to post, I met my goal today, and try to stay inspirational, right? Maybe some inspiration will ensue. Let's hope. But anyways, if you're new here, Treecat is a cross-listing, automation, collaboration, analytics tool suite for e-commerce sellers. And I will just kind of step through some things that I do throughout my day to make life a little bit easier for my reselling. So I go into Treecat, and I am going to be filtering. I'm going to go into the sales tab here, and I'm actually inventory tab, and I'm going to filter to see what's no longer listed, what's in my inventory that's no longer listed on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, because Treecat has detected the sale and taken it down. There's one item that I need to go into, and I need to archive it. And that's just, this is an archive label that comes standard. So I need to save the changes there. And that way, when I go into my inventory, it's not going to show up as an item that's in my inventory that has something I need to do to it. It will actually be put into a separate folder that can be saved as a draft to make new listings sometime in the future if I were to receive a bra like that again. So I look and see what my sales are. We have a way. I like to print out like not manifests. They're more like packing slips. eBay has their own packing slips, but really for Mercari and Poshmark, I like to print out my own packing slips because they don't really have. Well, Poshmark has kind of a packing slip, but it's not really. And Mercari does not have any packing slips. So I print out packing slips. You might be not interested in packing slips, but I like to do that to keep things organized, because like sometimes I'll have 7 black bras, different sizes, going to 7 different people, and I need to make sure I need to match the person's name on the packing slip to the poly bag with their label on it. So that's why I use packing slips. But so I will print out my packing slips, do my shipping, and then I'll come back and do my cross listing. So this is the inventory page, and I'm going to open new tabs for these, because you can sort of do them all at the same time. So what I'm going to do to cross list here is I'm going to go and say copy, right? Because I have already listed this on eBay, and then Treecat automatically, like every 30 minutes, it'll do a sync, and it'll pull in any new sales or any new listings that you've done. And so I'm going to just now cross list this. So I say copy to Mercari and Poshmark. And I'm just going to go in and fill in some of the categories here, and then I save it. And then I go to Poshmark and I do the same thing. I put in their special categories that they require, right? Then I press the list button. I say, please list this on Mercari and Poshmark, and click list. So yeah. So anyways, that's kind of what I do when I'm ready to do the cross listing. And you can see these bubbles over here. They are indicating to me that there's some items being pulled in. So it's doing a sync right now. And yeah, And so I know that if I get a sale, I were to get a sale right now, it would notify me and pull in the information. Automation. What are the other things that we're doing with automation? Well, besides doing the sort of sales detection and automatic delist, we have a feature that's called delist relist. And you can actually go to your inventory tab and you can say, hey, I really would like to look for certain categories of things that need to be relisted. And then you could do it on a basis of time frames. You could do it on a basis of where it's listed. Like say I only wanted to look at items that I had listed on eBay and apply that as a filter, or look for a time like maybe like within the last 12 months. And then I put in the keyword blue. And maybe what I could say is, hey, I'd like to look at some of these listings, these older blue listings, like this dress right here. And I think I'm going to do this delist relist. This is one of our automation options. And it just kind of does a refresh on your item so that if your item's been there for a while and it hasn't sold, you can just have it relisted and it'll just do it for you. So I'm just going to have this relisted. I can do it on all platforms and they'll still stay together, right? So once you've cross-listed the items together, they're kind of like matched. We call it a match. And the only way that you can break that match, well, you really can't break that match, even if you relist it. Even if I were just to say, oh, like maybe I just want to do a delist relist on eBay and Mercari. Well, they're still going to be matched with the Poshmark item that you didn't delist it on. Or maybe you just wanted to delist it on eBay. It's still to be matched with the items that are also on Mercari and Poshmark. But in this case, I'm just going to do a delist relist. And there's a couple ways you can do it. You can start at one time and do it immediately, or you can schedule it and you can say, I want it to start at this one time, but then I also want it to do it in a number of days. So maybe I decided I really want to like refresh this next month too. Like after, maybe like 28, 29 days, maybe I want to get another refresh on this. So that's an option. You can just say, I just want to do it right now, one time, and then we'll see next month. Maybe I don't want to set it up to have it auto refresh. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click the delist relist button. It delists it and relists it immediately. And it takes some time with Mercari and Poshmark for eBay. Since we have more of a direct connection, it does it pretty quickly. But for Mercari and Poshmark, it sort of mimics the actions that humans do. So it takes a little bit longer. Let's see, what else did we want to talk about? Inventory management, advanced inventory management. So getting back to the filtering, we have a variety of different ways that you can look at your inventory. So let's say you're wondering, what do I have listed on eBay that's not listed on Poshmark and Mercari? It's just a way to search your inventory. These are all things that I haven't yet cross-posted. So that makes sense. And also, what are the items that I have listed on Mercari but not listed on eBay and Poshmark? And there aren't any. And this has been extremely helpful for me because there was a point where my inventory was really screwed up when I was trying to do it all manually. And so having, these ways to view your inventory just by using filters has been very, very helpful. So that's just a different way of being able to look at your inventory and just, find things based on color, or maybe you want to find things based on a specific period of time, and that would be over here, right? If you want to, and we have some pre-programmed time frames that you can utilize. So even as much as last year or last 3 months or last quarter. So these, they just help you organize and keep track of things. And it just makes things a lot easier to find, let's say that, especially when you start getting into, you know, the thousands of listings. It makes it a lot easier to be able to just have one central location where you can see all of your all of your matched cross-listed items. It's really helpful. Sales analytics, that's another really interesting thing here. If you go into sales, you can kind of get a glance of your sales right here, total sales, billable sales. That's actually a Treecat thing. Your refunds and your transactions and things like that. So it's kind of a quick glance and it's real time, which is really nice. And so you don't have to go to each of the platforms and see what's happening on each of your platforms. I used to do in Excel, I would just do Excel spreadsheets and then make graphs in Excel to kind of get a visual or understanding of where things were at. And that just saves you a little bit of time. So that's nice. Collaboration is another really cool feature. So if you go into settings and you go into guest accounts, we do actually allow you to invite guests, which is really cool. And then you would just click here to add account, right? And you would put in someone's email. And it does have to be a Gmail account just because we use Gmail accounts for authentication purposes. So you would put in someone's email and you're inviting them to be a guest user for your stores. And so the cool thing about this is it's a very secure way for them to be able to help you out without having to know your passwords on your different platforms. I used to have someone that I collaborated with. She was a virtual assistant, and I had to basically give her the usernames and passwords to my account so that she could get in and make the changes, help me listing and do listings and things like that, photos and everything. So I think that's probably not a good way, not a good approach. And I was just really lucky that nothing ever happened to me. I worked with someone who was really trustworthy. But I think in this day and age, do yourself a favor and utilize these guest accounts because they really do make a big difference in terms of the security because they don't have access to your password. We also have another automation feature, which is our Poshmark closet sharing, and that's still in beta. We haven't released it for general consumption, but basically it's pretty cool. You have two of these buttons and you can maybe I should delete these here. I'll delete these and I'll start from fresh. When you first get into your Poshmark sharing, closet sharing tab, you'll notice that there are two quick buttons. And this one is, this will allow you to do a quick share for that day. For that day, it'll basically share your closet from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you press this button right here, it will say, okay, I'm ready to share. I'm going to start sharing. It'll just share all day. So yeah, that is the quick schedule all day follower share. And then the other one is, the other button is quick schedule nightly party share. And that's the nightly party is from 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific. I guess Eastern, it would be 9 to 11 p.m. But it just allows you to share all of your items. It doesn't have any specific categories that it bans you from. It shares all your items to everybody that's also in that party. So anyway, so that there's the all day follower share and there's the quick schedule nightly party share, which is really helpful. And you don't have to babysit it. If it has a CAPTCHA, which is just like a puzzle that you have to solve, you don't have to be there to solve that puzzle. It solves it for you at this point. And so that's really nice because I used to use another product and I had to sit there and kind of babysit it because the CAPTCHA would come up and I'd have to solve the CAPTCHA and say, okay, start it over. But that's not the case here. So we have automatic CAPTCHA sharing, which is really cool. So so some automation to make, it easier to save time. And I think a lot of these automations, like for example, the Poshmark sharing and the delist relist also help with impressions, right? So they're doing things to your listings to move them up in search so that you can get more impressions. And I think more impressions lead to more sales. And so as we start going into, fourth quarter, it's end of the month, it'll be fourth quarter. Holy cow, can't believe it. It's important to utilize some of these automations. So yeah. So it looks like we're coming up. We're going to answer some questions here, Mr. Treecat. I think we had some questions. I'll just answer some questions that I've recently received from people. One of them is, are you going to add Etsy? A couple people have been asking me about Etsy. We're not sure what we're going to add. We have some improvements that we want to make, and some things other features that we want to add before we start adding other platforms. But we've been asked about Etsy. I get asked about Etsy all the time. What else? Shopify. What's the other one? Depop. And I also heard recently that Walmart Marketplace is now allowing, I think they made an announcement last week, Walmart Marketplace is now allowing used goods. So that's really fascinating, because I know they have quite a huge marketplace. And if they're now allowing used goods, that's going to be quite a competitor to eBay, I would think. I'll have to look into what they charge, what their fees are, what their seller fees are. Do you have to be gated? I don't know. I don't have any experience, but I am very curious about it after hearing that announcement about Walmart Marketplace. Very fascinating. So lots of things happening. What other questions have I received? No, this is more of a question. Why does it take so long to load items in? Like when you first start, it takes a while to load items in to Treecat. And so that's V1. We have a V2, a second version of our agent that's coming out probably in the next month or two. And that will we're anticipating that it will speed up that process by 2 to 3 times, 2x to 3x. So that'll be really awesome. Any other Andy myth? How can I get my kids involved with Treecat? Well, I would say, I think you have to be a certain age to resell. I think you have to be 18, but maybe there's a way to have parental help with that, and having the parents set up the account and monitor have their kids start selling on the account. And then of course you can have them download Treecat onto their PC or Mac and install the agent, right? And the agent just runs in the background, and then they can upload all their items and then start cross-listing. So, but if your kids are interested in trying it out, trying to do cross-listing, I think it would probably boost their sales, right? I think we had one user who said that she boosted her sales by 20% when she started cross-listing, and then her workload actually went down because all the automations just do it quicker. So yeah, lots to think about in terms of, do you want to add automation and cross-listing to your workflow? I enjoy it. It helps me out, and I am excited to try doing the 10, kind of this little sort of challenge, and this challenge of 10 listings a day, 10 cross listings, and 20 delist relists. Anyways, it looks like we have about 2 minutes left, and I hope I've answered some questions today. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to us at contact@treecat.io. We also have if you're a user, we have the question up here where you can do a ticket, and we have our Reddit forum, reddit.com/r/Treecat. Follow me on Instagram at treecat.io for my exciting mid-month challenge. We'll see you next time, and thanks for coming to our live stream. All right, take care.